Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to the Healing Elevates Relationships podcast. I'm your host, Bernadette Jackson, CEO and Lead Strategist at H.E.R Consulting Group and the creator of H.E.R Way Relationship Intensive course. This podcast was created as a response to my desire to redefine how the world views women with daddy issues. I release a new episode every week, so expect to hear me and my guests discussing topics, sharing stories, and gaining insights from the perspective of a fatherless daughter and the people who love and support us. If this is your first time here, here's what I want you to know. You deserve amazing relationships, and nothing you've done or experienced disqualifies you from that. But here's the thing. Amazing relationships with others happen after you cultivate an amazing relationship with yourself. And how do you do that? Self-discovery, healing, and accessing your authenticity. Let's dive in. Hey, y'all. So I have been consuming a lot of information lately while I'm gearing up for this new season in my life, and I came across something that I want to share with you today. The decisions you make in your life will turn up the volume of the comments and concerns of the people around you. Your job is to find a way to turn that volume down so that you are not swayed to live inauthentically because of how loud the noise of others' opinions are. I started thinking about us immediately after I came across this comment. How we tend to want to betray ourselves if it means that our loved ones are happy. How we will put what we want to do on the back burner to accommodate someone else's timeline. How we will shrink our dreams down into the vision of what the people around us see for us. And I knew that I needed to share this. Not just the statement that I feel resonates with us, so many of us, because of our people-pleasing tendencies and our need for outside validation, but because I want to explore how we turn down the volume on others' opinions. Y'all know that around here we acknowledge that we would like to control everything and why, but we realize that we are only in control of and therefore responsible for our actions, our feelings, and our behaviors. So instead of focusing on how to stop other people from having opinions that make us rethink the things that we really want to do and that feeling alignment, let's talk about what needs to be in place so that when those opinions come, and trust me, they will, we can take the remote and press mute because ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody does. The three things that have always kept me grounded and have personally helped me to turn the volume way down and sometimes off completely on the opinions of others are self-discovery, fostering aligned relationships, and self-care. The combination of these three things keep me fortified so that I lean into my authenticity and not this compulsion to make everyone else happy above myself. So let's get into it. Self-discovery is an important step in showing up authentically and advocating for yourself. When you know yourself deeply, there is less of a desire to self-abandon. You become so grounded in yourself and the work that you put in to get there that doing things that you know will lead you to reverting back to old unhealthy habits will feel like a betrayal to you. I have left jobs that made me feel like the old unhealed version of myself was bubbling up to the surface because I have worked too hard to get where I am today. And the truth is that she will always be there. If you have spent more time as the unhealed version of yourself than you have as the healed self, then you are literally only one triggering experience away from her popping up like, did y'all miss me? What's up? And I'm telling you, it's not cute and you don't want that. There are different ways that people embark on a self-discovery journey. Mine was with books, research, asking questions, journaling, divine downloads, and some therapy. Y'all already know my story. But your journey might be different than mine. I did create something that I think will help you get started on this, so let's hear more about it. Too often, as survivors of trauma, you morph into who you need to be to survive. The problem with this defense mechanism is that even when the time has passed and the pain of the trauma has subsided, you are still wearing your mask. Your most authentic self is tucked away far beneath the surface, and although you yearn for deep connection, very few people know the real you. With everything you've experienced, it can be hard to take off that mask and be free. And let's be honest, sometimes it's easier and safer to have it on. That's why I wrote Access Authenticity. This 75-day journal and strategic guide will guide you through over 170 deep reflective questions so that your most authentic self can stop being your secret identity and start being your truest identity. You deserve amazing relationships, but you won't experience them if nobody ever gets to see the real you. Head on over to Amazon today and get your copy of Access Authenticity Journal Plus Strategy. Now let's get back into this week's goodness. So self-discovery leads to you showing up as your most authentic self. And showing up as your most authentic self leads to aligned relationships. I find it so satisfying to be in relationships with people who are experiencing the real me. Not my palatable persona, me, like who I am at my core. And that would never have happened if I was still hiding behind the mask I thought that I needed to wear to belong. Here's the thing. If no one is seeing the real you, if they have never engaged in who you are authentically, if you have never ever brought the fullness of who you are into your relationships, the deep desire that you have to be seen, heard, understood, supported, and loved for exactly who you are will never happen. I hate to break it to you, but you cannot have a deep connection with someone who has only ever engaged in your representative. It's just not possible. The other side of this, though, is that once you start showing up authentically, your current relationships will shift and some will fall away. I realize that it's shocking because of our abandonment issues and not wanting to feel like we're being abandoned or not wanting to feel like we're abandoning others, but hear me out. You know deep down in your spirit that the relationships that could not withstand you finally showing up to the relationship in the fullness of who you are were relationships that you were unfulfilled and unsatisfied in because those people didn't really know you. You're mourning the familiarity of the relationship, not the elevation that that relationship brought to your life. It's perfectly normal to miss relationships that you know that you can no longer be a part of. But know this, the vacancy leaves room for aligned relationships. The ones where you are celebrated for exactly who you are, where you are called to be yourself, where you are called to your own attention when you're not showing up in the ways that you need to, where your accomplishments are truly celebrated, where you can trust that your vulnerability will not be weaponized, where you are introduced to new experiences and opportunities that elevate you, where you can finally relax into the relationship because you truly feel safe. Aligned relationships are where it's at. Self-discovery leads to you showing up as your most authentic self. And showing up as your most authentic self leads to aligned relationships. And in order to keep showing up authentically and fostering your aligned relationships, your self-care game needs to be on point. Please know that I am not talking about manis and pedis and steam facials, even though those things are amazing. I'm talking about the self-care that feeds your soul. I guess we can call it soul care. Understanding what brings you peace and cultivating that in your personal space is soul care. The rituals that you create for yourself that help you to continue to show up authentically is soul care. Examining what you allow yourself to focus on deeply is soul care. Why? Because what you focus on grows. And if you're focusing on the wrong things, then you are going to have manifested in your life things that you do not want. My soul care consists of a list of things that I can do in 15 minutes or less, and sometimes in 3 minutes or less, that help me to regulate my emotions in high stress situations. I created a behavioral map for myself that highlights the things that I start doing that indicates to me that soul care is necessary. Irritability is at the tippity top of that list. Whenever the slightest thing happens that starts to irritate me and I feel like I'm going to spaz out because of it, I know that soul care is necessary and that it's time. And I have entire sequences already mapped out depending on if the soul care I need is mild or if I'm at DEFCON 3. It's the intentionality for me. The beautiful side effect of self-discovery, which is why I started with that, is that I have learned to pay very close attention to the things that I love, to the things that make me feel at peace, to the things that evoke the emotions in myself that I want to feel, and why. So when I decide what my soul care plan is going to be, I tap into that list. I know exactly what parks make me feel most at peace. I have my playlist mapped out. I know the fragrances and the oils that make me feel lifted and uplift my mood immediately. I know the people that I can call that always have a good word for me, and all the little things that keep my cup full and help me feel grounded are within arm's reach. I wanted to stay ready. All of these things help me to turn the volume way down on the opinions that other people have about the decisions that I need to make for myself, the decisions that are aligned with who I am at my core. And yes, I know that those decisions are always going to be made from the perspective of what's best for me. And yes, I know that the opinions that other people have are sometimes going to make me think like, maybe this isn't the right thing to do. But I know that the combination of self-discovery and fostering aligned relationships and my soul care is going to make me understand that if this decision is what I came to because it's what was best for me in this moment, in this season, then it helps me to stay grounded in exactly what I need to do in that moment. I hope that you found this episode helpful. And if you aren't already, follow me on IG at Bernadette N. Jackson. Of course, you know that you already deserve amazing relationships, but I'm going to tell you anyway, you deserve amazing relationships. But the day that you plant the seed is not the day that you see the fruit. So keep doing the work. And this is the work. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.